Hi everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Interior Soapery. Today we're going to do some amazing Russian piping on a soap that I'm going to be making for my daughter Alison. So this one's for you, Alison. We're making the cut with the purple and black just as you requested. So anyway, stay tuned guys and see what we're up to. So first of all, we're going to be pouring in our olive oils. So we're going to be pouring 1125 grams of olive oil. So I'll give you the recipe for this one. It is the same as my basic recipe, so I will list it all below if I don't tell you all the oils, but I'll try my best. So here, didn't have enough oil in the first container, so I had to go and get oil again for my second container, but anyway, we had enough. So we've got, I usually carry, about 60 or so litres in my warehouse, so we've definitely got enough for the oil. But we'll first pop in the oil that we're doing here. And then secondly, we're going to be putting in some sodium lactate. I always put sodium lactate in as it makes the bar a little harder. And next you'll see me putting in the castor oil. I think it's 2 to 5 grams of oil, but I will, like I said, list that below for you. And I'll list some links where I actually buy my supplies from in case there's any soap makers or a new soap maker that'd like to do some soap. So if you have any questions, please make sure you ask me, because I'm more than happy to answer. So the sodium lactate that you see me put in, it's actually 2 tablespoons of sodium lactate. I don't really measure that into grams. Now I'm going to be putting in my apricot kernel oil, so 150 grams of that. And after I pop in this one, we're going to be popping in 150 grams of sweet almond oil. These are my 2 favorite oils that I use all the time. I actually do buy them in 20 litre containers, and then I swap them over to the small 5 litre ones. And last but not least, you can see here, this is my melted down hard oils. They've been sitting there for a while, so that's why they look a little bit creamy. I make sure that mine are definitely room temperature. They are not hot at all, because if they're hot, it will make the soap just move too fast. So I'll give it a quick mix, and next we'll blend it. So now we're going to be adding in our lye. My lye is actually a mix of distilled water and almond milk. I always use almond milk in mine, and I actually mix my almond milk with the lye, but doing it this way, it does leave some extra little bits at the bottom. But what I do is put them through a strainer, and then once they're through a strainer, I just sort of sieve them through and throw out any yucky bits at the top out. You can do it the other way, where you can just use less water and then make up the difference in the almond milk later on when you can pour it in at a different time. So, if your mixture, for instance, was 600 grams, then you could, just do 500 grams with your hydroxide, and then that extra bit you can just pour in as milk later on. So, but if you have any questions on that, please ask me. I'm more than happy to help. I might do a little video later on how you can do those kind of things, because somebody that's a beginner may be a little confused. I know when I started making soap, I didn't know how that worked. So but yeah, so we might do that as a quick video at another time. But for now, like I said, I will put all the recipe and things down for you so you can see exactly how I do mine. So we're just blending it here. I just give it quick bursts of blending, and then I turn it off and I actually just mix it. So you can see me just twirling the stick blender around. And because if you mix this too much, it's going to move really, really fast. So that's why I try and leave mine a little bit loose, so then you've got time to mix it. I mean, it is fully mixed and submerged, so make sure it's fully mixed, but just do not do it too thick, or else you don't have time to work with this soap. Okay, so now we're going to be splitting off our mixture. Splitting off our mixture is literally just pouring it into different containers, and it would depend on, you know, the style of soap you're going to do to how many containers you would use. But for this one, we do need quite a few because we're going to be doing some purples, some blues, and of course blacks. And then I'll usually leave a little bit in the container in case I need it later on for piping, because I do know that we are going to be piping this particular soap. So I'm going to just add in some colours here. I will list the colours below for you. So I'm using a beautiful teal blend. This comes from a company Sud Off. And then I'll also be using a purple one later on, and that one will also be coming from Sud Off. And just remember, you know, the colour that you put in here, it will change. It usually will get a little lighter at the end. So I'm going to be popping in my first layer, which this is going to kind of look like a little bit of grass at the bottom that my kitty cat is going to be sitting on. So the teal that we've just mixed, I've just popped it on. I'm putting a tiny little bit of fragrance oil in this little bit here because I know it will move really fast, because this is a cherry blend, and cherry has that, it just does move. Everybody that uses cherry probably thinks the same. It moves very fast. But here's my little cat embed I've already made in a mold that I have. So this is a tube mold. So I'm just going to pop him to the side so that he looks like he's sitting on the grass, all beautiful. And my daughter loves cats, and she has a couple cats. So this one should remind her of her beautiful little grey cat, because he's sort of a greyish brown. And now with this second layer, I decided, because the cherry was moving too fast, just to put in some lavender oil. I know it looks like I'm just randomly shaking it, but I had already pre-measured the lavender, how many drops I need and so on. So that's why I've popped that in. And so slowly with this purple, my idea is to do kind of a tiny bit of an ombre look, not a really you know, not many layers of it, because I just don't have time to do that with this particular mixture. But yeah, so you can see that I'm going to pour in my first one, and then I'm just going to find something to prop up the back, so that I'm literally just going to be pouring on the one line, and each time I'm going to be adding a bit more purple dye, so that it will slowly get darker and darker as we reach the top of the cat bar. Okay, so we're going to keep on going with our purple layers as we started doing before, and each time just adding a little bit more, and then I'm just going to be whisking it in. I made a terrible mess when I spilt the purple off camera, so I had to edit that bit out because you don't want to watch me cleaning up all the mess, but it's fine. It doesn't matter, we can wipe that up anyway. Like I said, I'm in my warehouse, so we do have a special sheeting behind, and then concrete floors behind that, so that's fine, we can clean that up later. But yeah, you can see each time I'm just adding a bit more in, and just make sure you're you know, whipping it up as much as you can. You can see it's getting thick here. That's why I'm not doing many layers of the purple. I'm just doing as many as I can, and then we will fill it up the top. And so once we get to the top, the whole idea was to make it quite purple, which would be like a sky, so the cat's sitting on the grass, and then the purple would be going up and up and up and giving it just a bit of a colourful sky. I know some sky is usually, you know, blue or greys, but because my daughter loves purple, I just decided, well, we'll just keep it purple, and I think it looks really beautiful anyway. So yeah, and then on top we might add a mica line a little bit later. So I'll let you watch, and I'll come back in a moment. So we're going to be adding in our embeds now. These are just little ones in a charcoal. That what I've done is I pre-made these, and all they are is little lines that have come out of a piping bag. I've literally just piped straight onto greaseproof paper, and that will create like a little sky sort of star fleck in the top of our sky. And after that, we're just going to be adding the mica, which is the same purple that we're using before. I had a little bit left to the side, so I thought, well, we'll use it and add a beautiful mica line at the top before we pipe. So now I'm getting all of my piping bags ready. My black is going in first. The black is a little thicker because I have used a black pigment. Once again, I'll put the links down for that for you. The pigments are really good because they're strong in black, and charcoal goes grey, not black. And I actually need a black for my black and to put the cats in to match it a little better. So on this bit here, you can see that what I'm doing is I'm creating my piping for the purple flowers. So you sort of get this to be like a medium consistency. And then what I'm going to do is put one lot of purple colour on the bottom on this sheet that you can see. This is just a grease proof sheet of paper, and this is going to go in the piping bag to make it less messy. And then in the center we're going to be putting a bit of a darker purple, but you could use a cream or a white or even a black, and it just gives a bit of definition to the rose that we're going to do in our Russian piping tips. I will leave you the links to the actual piping tips that I have used, but I will tell you that Russian piping does take a lot of time to perfect, so do give yourself time to learn the trade of Russian piping. So here's the rose we're going to be using, and this one is not too bad to use. Some of them are harder than others. This would be like a medium level, so I'd say try, you know, a basic daisy one or something first. And you can see that I am slowly piping it on. The first lot of piping here is too wet. It is not ready to be the rose, but that's okay because I do need to just fill the bottom in, and it saves me having to pipe this in a typical circular tube piping tip. So yeah, but you can see how this does not give definition of that rose, and you know, if you wanted that rose you'd be disappointed. So what I usually do if you're going to go straight on to do the rose is I pipe on the table or some paper, and just to see the consistency is there and it's ready to go. So now we're getting ready to pipe on our real roses and our little stars. So we'll start with the black stars first. And we know that our piping, the consistency has set up. I did leave this for about another 10 minutes. When you're doing Russian piping, it needs to be really thick. If it's not really thick, it just will not hold at all. So yeah, so make sure it's nice and thick. And the one thing that I can tell you about Russian piping is you've literally got to just hold it down on the bottom soap and then slowly pull up and release your hand from the pressure. If you don't release your hand from the pressure, then what actually happens is it's just a big blob. So that does take practice, but I'm sure that you can see and agree that it looks really beautiful once you perfect it. This has taken me a good 12 months to perfect Russian piping. I get asked from a lot of people how to do it, and I might do a video on just Russian piping because it is something people really love doing, but it does, like I said, take a lot of time to perfect. So give yourself some time and don't be hard on yourself if you find it a little hard. But we'll keep going with the roses all around the edge, and I'll come back. Okay, so we're back. It's the next day and in the morning, so I'm going to actually just undo this and get ready to cut it. The one thing that I will say is I think I probably could have left it in maybe another hour or two because it was a tiny bit sticky, but I was super duper eager to see what it looked like. So you can see me trying to pull it out of the mold here. So like I said, it was sticky, but it was fine to come out. and you can see how beautiful the colors are with that really nice kind of minty green at the bottom. When I actually was mixing it, I thought, oh no, this color is terrible, but now that I see it, it's come out really nice, and I think it will lighten up in time. So because the fragrance, you know, we've used mostly lavender, it's not going to discolor it. So yeah, so it's looking beautiful, and the roses are looking gorgeous as well. So now I'm going to just cut the bar so that you can see exactly how pretty it does look. So we'll pop it through. It was tough to get through because it was, like I said, a little bit sticky, but we can pop it out so that you can see how cute it is. And doesn't the little kitty cat just look gorgeous? So it's all done, and with some biodegradable glitter on top that I've used as well. I think it's called Snowflake, that one. But like I said, I'll leave everything, all the links, as I always do, in the description box for you. So yeah, have a nice day everyone, and you can stay tuned and watch my beautiful kitty cat.